I am the girl who is just gonna have the packet of Quaker oatmeal. I just buy Go-Gurts, okay? That's what my kids eat. If you know of any channels that, are similar to mine and try to eat well but occasionally still eat Cheetos, let me know. Link it in the comments because I'm looking for some new channels to follow. Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. I'm Mindy, this is See Mindy Mom, and I am sitting in the parking lot at my doctor's office just going for my regular yearly checkup, and I have a few extra minutes, so I thought I'd hop on here and chat with you guys about something that I've been thinking about, and then also give you a tour of my pantry, fridge, and freezer. One of the reasons I want to do this is just to show you guys what I typically have on hand and what my kitchen and like my pantry, fridge, and freezer look like, because I feel like it looks like, a typical, normal, everyday, average American household. I like to think I don't have quite as much processed stuff. I do cook our meals at home for the most part, and we don't, have to resort to going through the drive-through too often. And one of the reasons that I've been thinking about this is because I've been searching for some more YouTube channels to follow. Not that I don't love the ones that I'm already subscribed to and following, and I think that there's something that we can learn from just about everybody, even people who are not like us. But I'm having trouble finding channels with ideas for me with my weight loss, the way that I'm losing weight, which is just counting calories and in a way that is gentle on my body and on my sanity, but also just using the kinds of foods that I typically have on hand and that you would find in just an average ordinary everyday grocery store and average ordinary everyday kitchen. I mean, hats off to the people who make their own kale chips, but I'm just not about that life. And, kudos to the people who have these, what I eat in a day videos that are these beautifully plated bowls of, non-GMO, organic, steel cut, overnight oats or something. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I am the girl who is just going to have the packet of Quaker oatmeal. And that's okay. That's okay. I want somebody else out there to know that that's okay. I mean, would it be great if we could all make these beautiful meals out of, specialty ingredients that we get at Whole Foods? But it's just not a life that all of us can lead, and it's just not something that I can do right now in this season of life. I need to be able to feed myself and my family stuff that most of us already have on hand. Am I making sense? If I want to prove that you don't have to eat, raw, whole milk, organic yogurt, I just buy Go-Gurts, okay? That's what my kids eat. Yes, I know there's probably healthier things out there, but this is just the stuff that I buy. It's the season that I'm in. It's the time that I have and the amount of energy that I'm willing to devote to it. And there's got to be a way, that we can still make good choices and be healthy, but in a way that's just more convenient and fits a little bit better with our surroundings and the choices that we have. Am I making sense? I hope I'm not. I don't mean to be negative about, other channels or other people or the way that they're leading their lives. I'm just saying that this is what I do on my channel. And when I'm looking at my what I eat in a day videos and I'm looking at the stuff that's in my grocery haul and in my pantry, and it's so different from lots of people who are on a health journey, I just kind of second guess myself. But I also feel like this is my life, and there's got to be lots of other people out there for whom this is the case. I mean, we all know when it comes to weight loss that it's about creating a caloric deficit, right? And you can do that by eating nothing but Twinkies. Is that advisable? No, you probably won't feel well and you might get scurvy. But so in that case, packet of Quaker oatmeal, Twinkie, the packet of Quaker oatmeal is still a better choice, even if it's not like this perfect homemade, cooked from scratch, organic, meal. Again, there's nothing wrong with people, deciding what they have time for and what makes them feel good. And if they want to eat gluten-free or buy vegan products or buy specialty products online and make their meals from them, if they want to have a channel about that and show all about it, that's great. I just don't identify with that lifestyle, and so I find it difficult to find good ideas. So if you know of any channels that, are similar to mine and try to eat well but occasionally still eat Cheetos, let me know. Link it in the comments because I'm looking for some new channels to follow. I mean, I do the best I can. I still try to cook for my family. I still try to make meals at home as much as possible, but I gotta cart kids to soccer and gymnastics and piano lessons and swim lessons and junior swim team and church choir and Sunday school and speech therapy. I mean, the list just goes on and on. I need to be able just to stop at any given neighborhood grocery store, throw some stuff in my cart, throw that stuff into the crock pot. So I thought it would be fun just to give you guys a little tour of what's in my pantry, what's in my fridge, what's in my freezers, kind of how I store it, how it makes it easier on me and on my family throughout the week to organize it in a certain way, just taking a few extra minutes to kind of organize my kitchen in such a way that the kids can fix their own breakfast, lunches, and snacks. Yes, my kids, even my 5-year-old knows how to pack his own lunch. I give them certain parameters, but they do those things themselves, which not only helps them become, more responsible and more self-sufficient, it frees me up to do other things, obviously, picking up, tidying up, getting ready, getting out of the house and running all the errands and stuff that I have to do. So hopefully I haven't offended anybody. This is all in good fun, you guys, and hopefully it's helpful. I'm just going to give you a little tour of my kitchen and show you what typically we would have on hand around our house to eat. Starting with the pantry, here we go. And please ignore all the Walmart sacks on the bottom there. Obviously, I need to make a trip to Walmart to recycle my plastic bags. On the top, I typically keep like baking items, so flour, sugar, salt, cake mixes, baking soda, baking powder. I have some pancake mixes up there, stuff that's used like for baking. And I like to keep that all together. The kids don't really need to get into that, so I just keep it kind of high and out of the way. Over in this blue bin, I keep additional K-cups and tea that I don't have out with my Keurig, and I just restock as I need to from that blue bin. Oops, my brown sugar is not in the right spot, so I put it back up where it goes. And then on this second from the top shelf is canned goods and dry goods and pasta, macaroni and cheese, some sauces, some soups, the kinds of stuff that I would use to make meals from and use in my recipes. The kids don't really need to get into that, so I just kind of keep that high and out of the way. And then the bottom two shelves are really what I stock with the kids in mind. I keep snacks and cereal and items like that on these two shelves. In this blue bin are some crackers and chips, open packages of things like that, and I've also stocked these little containers with nuts and with like crackers and trail mix and stuff. I also keep the cereal down here. I like to put it into these containers because it's easier for the kids to pour or to just grab a handful. They eat this for breakfast some, but they also will grab it as a snack or to put in their yogurt. On the bottom, I'm really thinking about lunch packing. This bin has a bunch of small packages of crackers and chips and treats. I love when Halloween rolls around because the packages are much smaller and they're more appropriate portion sizes, and so the kids can actually pick one of each, like a treat and a cracker, because they're more like half servings. But I love to buy the big boxes of those, and so I have extras in the back there, and I just stock that bin with various and sundry. And then in this bin, I keep fruit and applesauce. And in my bread basket, I keep open packages of bread and tortillas and chips, and then you've got the peanut butter right there next to it. So this makes it really easy for the kids to pack their lunches because they just make a sandwich or tortilla roll up and grab a chip or a cracker, and then they will throw in some yogurt or a string cheese and some fruit, and they've got their lunch all packed and ready to go. And of course they can make breakfast and snacks from those items that are available to them as well. Here is my refrigerator. And in the door, just kind of have the stuff you would normally have in the door, condiments and Parmesan cheese. I keep like the butter and the cream cheeses in the door as well in that little container on the top. I do try to go through this stuff occasionally and not let stuff sit in there for years. On the top shelf in my fridge, it's empty right now, but I would normally keep meats that I'm about to use. Yes, I know you should keep meats in the bottom of your fridge, but I'm very careful to make sure that they are sealed appropriately or in containers where they won't leak. And then I usually keep like my yogurts and some dairy items and stuff up there too, just because they're small and they fit in that small space really well. On the middle shelf here is where I store cheese of all assortments pretty much. I have cream cheese and Parmesan cheese and cottage cheese. I've got my shredded cheese and my block cheese in the back there, which I will take out to make different dinners and recipes with. But I just like to keep it all right there. The kids still have access to it if they need it. My son especially loves cottage cheese, but it's all there together. And then in this little middle tray, which is cracked, unfortunately, is where I keep any kind of cooked meat. So like turkey and hot dogs and lunch meat and turkey smoked sausages. Sometimes if we have pepperonis or salami or something, I'll keep it in there as well so that we have it to make sandwiches and for snacks. On the bottom here, again, I'm really thinking of the kids. So, well, not where the eggs are concerned. I love that little egg tray because it's got room for 2 dozen eggs. But in these little bins, I keep string cheeses or cheese snacks and yogurts because those are common snacks or breakfast or things that we use for lunches. I've got some carrots and celery already in there in my little crisper container that the kids can grab to throw in their lunch boxes or for snacks. And then over here on the other side, I usually keep things that we need to use up, leftovers from dinners. I made some banana muffins the other day. There's half a package of steamed veggies. I just keep it right there in clear view so we know that this is stuff that is left over or that just needs to be used up and eaten so that it doesn't go bad. And then, of course, on the bottom, I have my veggie and fruit crispers. So I've got stuff for salads and then fruit, usually for the kids to make their lunches or to have as snacks or for breakfasts. And that's a typical refrigerator for us. Moving into the freezer that is in the house with the refrigerator is where I keep usually open packages of things. I've got my flour in there right now because I just bought it and I put it in the freezer for a couple weeks because it will kill any of the, I know this is kind of gross, but you know, like the weevils that would sometimes hatch in your flour, anything that's in there, it'll be dead if it stays in the freezer for 2 weeks, so it keeps my flour good. I have some open packages of like French fries and tater tots, and that's some fish. I like to make those in the air fryer for lunches for me. I keep this little basket where I keep popsicles and like frozen treats for the kids. They love to have these, especially after school right now because it's hot outside and they're warm when they get home. I do have some bread, some bagels, some specialty breads in the freezer because I don't use that fast enough for it to stay fresh when I want to eat it. So I just take it out a few pieces at a time as I'm eating it. It doesn't take long to thaw. And so I keep those in the freezer so they stay fresh longer. And I don't keep a lot in my freezer door because it doesn't stay cold enough, but I do have like some breadcrumbs and some special flours on the top. And I mainly just keep like ice packs and stuff in the freezer door. In the back there in that little Halloween bucket are treats that I'm hiding from my kids. Those are just little miniature like peanut butter and cups and stuff that my husband snacks on. Don't worry, they have plenty of treats. That's just kind of my stash back there, and I keep it in the freezer. So it's sort of out of sight, out of mind for me, but it's still there whenever I want one. But there you go. In the big freezer is where I stash unopened packages of things, and I don't keep a huge stockpile, but I sort of store things differently in here. I store it in bags by category. So I have a bag here where I keep bread and like frozen entrees and stuff, the little Mickey Mouse bag that you see there. I don't have a lot in there, but again, we don't go through bread really quickly, so sometimes if I get a good price on it, I'll buy a few loaves at a time. And if I ever have frozen dinners or even like frozen hash browns or potatoes, I'll keep them in there as well. This is my veggie bag, so I've got unopened packages of like broccoli and cauliflower and corn, anything that comes from the freezer section that I won't need to use super fast and will take up space in my inside freezer, I keep in that bag. And then I've got a bag for meat. So this is like chicken and shrimp and fish if I ever have any that's frozen. Frozen hamburger meat or roasts or anything that I'm not ready to use yet. I keep it in that bag. So by keeping it in the bags, I can take them out really easily and fish around for what I want instead of just having stuff tossed in there willy-nilly, and it just is way easier to organize that way. And that's why I put them into bags by categories just because it's easier whenever I'm looking for something. So there you have it, you guys. That's the tour of my kitchen and my pantry, fridge, and freezer. Hopefully there is something in there that's helpful or that gives you a few ideas. Thanks so much for coming along. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll check in with you guys again very soon.